coming to you loud and clear. I'd like to bring everyone's attention.
My name is Ayana Zaire. I am 22. I'm an artist, creative director, and I'm a community engagement consultant. My freshman year of college, I went to LIM, which is a fashion college or fashion business college in New York. Got to New York, absolutely hated it. Hated the fashion industry. So I came back to the University of Maryland. I subsequently created my own major. That's innovation, design, and society. This was a project I did while I was in school. I basically saw the Black Power mixtape documentary and was just so inspired by it and so inspired by how it was filmed and how they basically broke it down year to year. The documentary talks about the rise and fall of the Black Panthers, the rise and fall of kind of like a lot of the liberation movements that were happening during that time. And it starts in the 1960s and then goes all the way to the 1970s. I've always been drawn to like the African American tradition of quilt making. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of like my take on that century old tradition. I would say I like first got my foray into like political art. And the first project I would say I like launched as a political artist was IB Woman. It was about 3 t-shirt lines or t-shirts we did. One said no more faking orgasms, another said your idea of beauty is my idea of bullshit, and the last one was like I love sex and I dare you to call me anything but a woman. I would say my next foray into political art was launching District, which is a magazine that showcases the young creative community of DC metro area. We showcase what they're up to through their art, their culture, their style. Right now we are mainly print. We're on our 2nd issue. I looked at the publications that were out, like the Washingtonian and the Washington Post, and realized they only showed like one side of DC. I created District to kind of act as like the publication to fill that gap. I knew I wanted to showcase, connect, and empower. District was going to be the first way that we showcase. I knew showcasing had to come first. There had to be some sort of visual representation of creative culture here for people to even like latch on and connect with each other. Our motto is also to tell the truth. So we want to make sure our message is getting to all of DC. This is just like our manifesto, what we stand for. Because this is mandatory, because this is home, because DC is the shit, because we are all here and we can't keep quiet any longer, because it's time to tell the truth. Right now, the creative community is mainly linked and engaged via Instagram. There are so many people that need to be a part of this conversation, that are a part of this conversation, that maybe don't have Instagram or maybe don't have a phone. But there's always been creativity here. There's people have been doing things for years. From District, the next thing I did was sync up with Morgan and partner up with Morgan with a Creative DC. And I've been working.
And what is a Creative DC exactly?
It's just a platform and a touch point where, in an extremely democratic one, where people can basically opt in to what DC creative culture looks like. A lot of times DC kind of gets a bad rep for being a city void of art or void of any creativity. And I think a Creative DC just acts as not only a digital but an in real life access point to really how beautiful DC's creative culture is and how thriving and present it actually really is. I feel so fortunate and blessed to be in the position I am. I'm 22, like being able to freelance and basically be an artist and a connector full time. And I think that's only because DC is really kind of creating an environment where that can be possible. As young artists and as emerging artists and as young storytellers, we not only have a beautiful opportunity, but a beautiful obligation to not only preserve the culture here, but also to build a new one. And I just think we have a beautiful opportunity to forego moving and to really set up camp here and set up camp in a way that we want camp to be set up. Don't let someone else set up our camp.